So that is what it is, human relationship and behavioral. If you understand, what happens is you can achieve that efficient performance. There are people who really want to help even their subordinates. So here what happens is the subordinate will also get their behavioral change. Now you cannot say you will be not following it. So it is like more of working rather than thinking. Now as a manager, now he or she need to take their decision on basis of what's happening right now. Hello everybody, a warm welcome to one and all. I'm Vidhyaashram from the Department of Commerce and Management in Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence. Welcome to the new session where you will be understanding about the different eras of human resource management. Now we have already done, that is the traditional approach, then we went with scientific as well as human relationship. Now we have one more approach, or we can say that as a different era, that is called behavioral approach or behavioral era. Now the behavioral science era, what exactly it is? Now, the minute you got to know what a human relation era was, that means whoever is happy, that person will be what? He'll be going with productive worker. But what exactly behavioral is all about? The way you behave in the organization and the way you behave in your personal life. So please understand, both are totally different, but what happens is there is an effect in your behavioral. That is, there are many people, because human is a heterogeneous animal, right? When I say heterogeneous animal, what exactly it is? The way he acts in the organization is totally different from the way he acts at personal life. So that means professional is totally different, personal is totally different. So you should understand the nature and behavior of the human being. Only then you can get the work done from him efficiently and effectively. As a corollary of this, the behavioral science era assumes human behavior has a means to achieve efficiency in performance. So that is what it is, human relationship and behavioral. If you understand, then what happens is you can achieve that efficient performance. Behavioral approach to HRM is based on the findings of intensive research carried out by behavioral scientists. Now there are people who actually carry so many research about human beings. One of the thing I'll just tell you now, why and how the behavioral changes. When I say why and how, please understand, if you are giving more salary to the employee, the way his behavior will change for the betterment, you can understand. In the meanwhile, if you're not paying more salary or you are paying less salary, now his behavior will change. So that is what the scientist also feels, that is you are supposed to actually go with. See, systematic approach, what it says is scientific approach, what it says is piece wage rate system. That is what FW says, right? That is Frederick Winslow Taylor. But here behavioral science, you will understand that you can make anybody a person who can be efficient or a person who can be productive. I'll give you an example here. Now let's take one example where you can actually see the behavioral changes. There is a person who is doing a work very beautifully and efficiently, and you're not at all appreciating his work. After 5-6 days, what happens is his working efficiency is dropping. The reason is the way you behave to that person, the person will also behave the same. And let's take one more example. Now there is a person who isn't working properly, but you are appreciating him that you can do it better. Now what happens is after 5 or 6 days, you can see a change in him, and he will change his techniques, and he will definitely make the productivity efficiently and effectively. The reason is, again, the behavioral changes. So you should always go with that systematic approach of behavioral aspect. So here what happens is the scientists belonging to the discipline of sociology, socio-psychology, anthropology and management experts, what they feel is behavioral approach to HRM is based on the findings. What they feel is it is all about the findings of what? Intensive research. That is what it is carried by the experts. Now, what are the important elements of behavioral science? Understand the importance about it. The first one is individual behavior is linked with the group behavior. So for this example, I'll give you now. Now, we have two types of people, that is introvert and extrovert. Now, in a group of 7 people, there are 6 people who are extrovert. They are extrovert. And one of the person is introvert. Now what happens is, because of the group, after 3 months or 4 months or 5 months, it takes its own time to change the behavior of oneself. Now this one person will also be converted as an extrovert, because what happens is individual behavior is linked with the group behavior. Second one, informal leadership rather than the formal leadership of manager is more effective in influencing people to achieve standards of performance. Here what happens is, though you may have a leader, but within a group what happens is, unknowingly or knowingly, you people will start analyzing who is the informal leader. That is what happens in the behavioral science. Next is, by nature, people do not dislike work. To be very frank, they don't dislike work. Most people enjoy work and are motivated by self-control and self-development. That is what the behavioral era also approaches. Next one is, expanding subordinate influence, self-control and self-direction can improve operating efficiency. Here what happens is, whenever we go with the behavioral aspect, there are people who really want to help even their subordinates. So here what happens is, the subordinate will also get their behavioral change and their subordinate also will be helped by them. So this is like a chain. That is what it is. See, the way you are and the way you treat others, others will also treat the same. So that is what the behavioral era also says. Now we have system approach era. System approach era. Please understand the word system here. What exactly system is all about? Now, a system may be defined as a set of interdependent parts forming an organized unit or entity. That is, it is what? It's a interdependent. That is called system. Next is, the system is defined as an organized and combination of things or parts forming a complex unitary whole. That is, here we always say system isn't good. Now what exactly the system is? The system is all about the organized and combination of things or parts forming a complex unitary whole. The next one here is the part also known as subsystem. There are something called subsystem within the system, interacts with each other and are subject to change. These subsystems are interrelated and interdependent. Now these are the things which you people should know. Now what exactly a system is? First thing is, it is interdependent. Next is, it is organized unit or entity. It is one of the organized unit or entity and people should follow the system. What a system is done by the top level, you are supposed to follow it. Now you cannot say you will be not following it. So it is like mode of working rather than thinking. So let's go with the subsystem. What exactly the subsystem are? The first one is technical subsystem. You have technical, where formal relationship among the members of an organization. There should be what? Formal. You are not supposed to go with informal, you are supposed to have a formal. Next is social subsystem. That is social satisfaction to the members through informal group relationship. So in a organization only, we have subsystem. That is, first is technical subsystem. That is all formally it will be happening. Social subsystem, what happens is informal. Now if I like somebody, I'll go and I'll have tea or coffee with them. That is all called social subsystem. Third is power subsystem. That is exercise of power or influence by individual or group. Now I'll be with my manager, with my team leader. All these are what? Power subsystem. Now we are supposed to know about one more is features of system. Features of system approach. What are the features? What are the totally different areas where subsystem and the systems can perform? The first one is, a system is a group of interrelated elements which are separate entity, Second one is all the elements are interrelated in an orderly manner. So that is all whatever they have listed from the starting of the company, it's the same thing. You can't change a system. Next is, there is a need for proper and timely communication to facilitate interaction between the elements. So what happens is, only when there is a proper and timely communication is needed, only then they are supposed to do it. And next we have is, the interaction between the elements should lead to achieve some common goals. Now, formally you are supposed to follow this. Informally you cannot follow these things. Everything is what? Formal. And the interaction between any of the element, what should happen is, they should always go with achieving some common goal. So these are the features of system approach. So next one we have is contingency approach era. Now what exactly this contingency approach era is all about, please understand. The word contingency means act according to situation. That's why contingency approach era is also called as situational era or situational approaches. Now as a manager, now he or she need to take their decision on basis of what's happening right now. So here what happens is, immediately they are supposed to take the decision, and that is what the era as well as the approach will go with. Now I'll give you an example here. Say marketing manager is there. Now the marketing manager, he knows that and he has planned everything for the future, because planning is what he has done. But right now what happens is, the competitor is there, and competitor will change the policies of his marketing. Now what our marketing manager should do is, he should act according to situation. That is where he'll go with contingency era kind of behavior. What exactly that is? It's like do or die situation, and he should do it immediately. Within spontaneous, he should do it. So he will not be asking any of his superior for that. He'll take action just there itself. So contingency refers to die immediate circumstances. Now here contingency approach believes that there is no one way of managing that work best in all situations. So here what happens is, the marketing manager of our company need to check what are the competitors' policy or competitor marketing. If they feel that the marketing what we people should changes, he will take it then and there itself, and whatever the situation is, he will go with the best course of action. And when he goes with best course of action, it should be what? Please understand, it should be what? Best in all situation. According to this approach, the best way to manage varies with the situation. Hence, this approach is also called as situational approaches. Now, taking a decision then and there itself, right? And that decision should be favoring in the favor of the company. That is what contingency approaches era also says. Now, the word contingency is what? Act according to situation. Act according to situation. That is what it is. Now, many of you act according to situation. If your parents ask you some questions and you really don't know what exactly to tell, but somehow you will manage to tell something, that is, you will act according to the situation, isn't it? Even that is called contingency. Here also, in the managerial era, human resource management also goes with the same, that is, whatever favors to the company, they'll take the decisions. So these are the eras which we have actually gone through. The first one here in this session, we went with behavioral approach. We got to know what exactly it is. Then we came for one more approach, that is systematic approach, and we also got to know what is subsystem. And lastly, we went with contingent approaches, that is called situational approaches. Students, thank you so much. Here we'll end the session, and if you have any doubts regarding this, please call us, message us. We are always there to help you here. Now, next session I'll be explaining you about more of human resources with more psychological and physiological researches and experience. Whatever they have done, I'll be sharing with you people. Thank you so much. I'll see you when I see you.